Good morning / afternoon / evening, everyone. Life has a way of breaking us, testing us, and sometimes leaving us with wounds we never expected to carry. But I stand before you today with a message of hope, a reminder that no matter how deep the scars, healing is always possible. We all face struggles, some seen, some hidden, but one truth remains: we do not have to face them alone. Healing is not just a personal journey, it is a collective effort. When we extend a hand, when we offer support, when we choose to walk alongside one another, we create the foundation for true recovery. Today I want to speak about the power of resilience, the strength found in unity, and the help we can give each other to rise again. Because healing is not just about survival, it's about reclaiming our joy, our peace, and our purpose. Let us take this step together. Let us find the help we need for our healing. Pain is an inevitable part of life. It comes in many forms: physical, emotional, mental, and even spiritual. Every person at some point experiences suffering, whether from loss, failure, betrayal, disappointment, or personal struggles that seem too heavy to carry. But one of the most crucial steps toward healing is acknowledging that pain exists. Too often, people try to suppress their pain, convincing themselves that ignoring it will make it disappear. However, unacknowledged pain does not fade away. It lingers, manifesting in different aspects of life, affecting relationships, decision-making, and even overall well-being. Many people fear facing their pain because it can be overwhelming. They distract themselves with work, entertainment, or unhealthy habits, hoping to escape the weight of what they feel. But running from pain does not erase it. It only prolongs its presence. The truth is, healing cannot begin until one fully recognizes and accepts that they are hurting. This acknowledgement is not a sign of weakness, it is an act of courage. It takes strength to admit when something has broken you, to recognize the wounds that need tending. Pain can stem from different sources. Some wounds are fresh, caused by recent heartbreaks or disappointments, while others have been buried deep for years, left unresolved and unspoken. The longer pain is ignored, the more it can shape a person's thoughts, behaviors, and emotions. It can create a cycle of fear, anger, or resentment that hinders personal growth and prevents meaningful connections with others. Some people carry pain that originated in childhood: neglect, rejection, or experiences that left them feeling unworthy. Others have encountered betrayals that shattered their trust, or failures that made them doubt their capabilities. Whatever the cause, acknowledging pain means allowing yourself to confront these emotions rather than running from them. For many, acknowledging pain feels like opening a door to a flood of emotions they would rather keep locked away. But emotions, like waves, do not disappear simply because we refuse to look at them. They build up over time, waiting for a moment to crash down. Suppressing emotions can lead to stress, anxiety, or even physical illness. The body and mind are connected, and what is not processed emotionally can manifest in fatigue, headaches, tension, or even long-term health issues. That is why acknowledging pain is not just an emotional necessity, it is vital for overall well-being. One of the biggest barriers to acknowledging pain is the belief that admitting to suffering makes a person weak. Society often encourages strength in the form of endurance, pushing through struggles without showing vulnerability, but real strength lies in facing what hurts, in allowing oneself to feel, process, and eventually heal. Denying pain does not make it disappear. It only buries it deeper. The deeper it is buried, the more it influences a person's life in ways they may not even realize. Acknowledging pain is also about giving yourself permission to grieve. Pain is often tied to loss, the loss of a loved one, a dream, a relationship, or even a sense of self. Grieving is a natural process, and it looks different for everyone. Some may cry, some may withdraw, some may feel anger, while others may struggle with numbness. There is no right or wrong way to process pain, but what matters is allowing it to be felt rather than silenced. Suppressing grief only prolongs suffering, while accepting it makes space for healing. Many people find it difficult to acknowledge their pain because they feel alone in it. They fear that no one will understand, or worse, that others will judge them for what they feel. This fear often leads to isolation, creating a sense of loneliness that deepens the pain. However, pain is a universal experience. While each person's struggles are unique, suffering is something every human being encounters at some point. Recognizing this shared experience can provide comfort. It reminds people that they are not alone in their struggles. Some may find it easier to acknowledge pain by expressing it outwardly. Talking to a trusted friend, family member, or therapist can be a powerful way to bring hidden pain to light. Others may prefer writing, using journaling as a way to process emotions privately. For some, creative outlets like music, art, or movement allow them to express what words cannot. No matter the method, the act of acknowledging pain in some form is the first step toward understanding and eventually healing from it. Another challenge in acknowledging pain is the fear of what comes next. Many people worry that if they allow themselves to feel pain, they will become stuck in it, unable to move forward. But pain, when faced, does not last forever. It is when it is ignored that it lingers indefinitely. Healing begins with recognizing what hurts, sitting with those emotions, and then slowly finding ways to move through them. It is not about dwelling in pain, but about giving it the space it needs to be processed and released. Acknowledging pain is also about self-compassion. It means allowing yourself to feel without self-judgment. Too often, people criticize themselves for feeling hurt, telling themselves they should be over it or stay strong. But true strength is found in honesty. It is in allowing oneself to feel without guilt, understanding that emotions are valid and that healing is not a race. Pain does not disappear overnight, and that is okay. The goal is not to erase pain, but to move through it in a way that leads to growth and renewal. The process of acknowledging pain may be difficult, but it is necessary. It is the first step in breaking free from the weight of unspoken suffering. By facing pain instead of suppressing it, a person takes control of their healing journey. It is only by recognizing what hurts that one can begin the journey toward relief, renewal, and peace. Power of support healing is not meant to be a solitary journey. While personal growth and self-reflection are crucial parts of the process, the presence of a supportive community can make a significant difference. Human beings are inherently social creatures, and the bonds we form with others provide strength, encouragement, and comfort in times of struggle. The power of support lies in the connections we make, the understanding we receive, and the love that reminds us we are not alone in our pain. One of the biggest challenges people face when going through hardship is the feeling of isolation. Pain can create a barrier that makes reaching out seem impossible. Many people hesitate to share their struggles because they fear judgment, rejection, or being perceived as weak. They convince themselves that no one will understand or that their burden is theirs alone to carry. This mindset can be dangerous, as it leads to emotional withdrawal, deepens suffering, and prolongs the healing process. However, when support is embraced, it can be a powerful force in lifting someone out of despair and onto a path of recovery. Support can come in many forms. It might be a friend who listens without judgment, a family member who offers encouragement, a mentor who provides guidance, or even a community that shares similar experiences. Sometimes just knowing that someone is there, ready to listen, can bring an immense sense of relief. The simple act of being heard can validate emotions, allowing the person in pain to feel seen and understood. This validation is a critical part of healing, as it reassures people that their feelings are real and worthy of attention. There is also great power in shared experiences. Support groups, whether formal or informal, create spaces where people can openly discuss their struggles with others who have been through similar situations. These environments foster connection, reminding individuals that they are not alone. Hearing someone else's story can provide perspective, hope, and the reassurance that healing is possible. It is often in these shared moments of vulnerability that the deepest healing begins, as people find strength in one another's courage. Another important aspect of support is accountability. When healing from trauma, loss, or personal struggles, it is easy to fall into patterns of avoidance, self-doubt, or even self-destruction. Having a support system means having people who will remind you of your worth, encourage you to keep going, and hold you accountable when you feel like giving up. These individuals can offer motivation when energy is low, provide perspective when emotions cloud judgment, and help redirect focus toward progress rather than setbacks. Support is not just about emotional reassurance. It also plays a role in practical healing. Loved ones can offer guidance, resources, or even just the presence needed to navigate difficult situations. In times of grief, they might assist with responsibilities that feel overwhelming. In moments of struggle, they can provide advice or connections to professional help. Sometimes their role is simply to sit in silence and offer their presence, reminding us that we do not have to face pain alone. One of the most profound aspects of support is its ability to restore hope. When someone feels lost, broken, or without direction, the encouragement of others can reignite the belief that things can and will get better. Even the smallest gestures, a kind word, a reassuring hug, a message of encouragement can be enough to remind someone that they are valued, loved, and capable of overcoming their struggles. While receiving support is crucial, offering support to others can also be a healing experience. Helping someone else in their time of need fosters a sense of purpose, connection, and fulfillment. It creates a cycle of kindness, where the strength given is eventually returned. When individuals uplift one another, they not only aid in healing, but also strengthen the bonds that make life meaningful. Healing through support does not mean depending entirely on others. Rather, it means allowing love, kindness, and connection to be part of the process. It is about recognizing that no one is meant to heal alone, and that together we can rise above pain stronger than before. Self-compassion healing is not just about overcoming pain. It is also about learning to be kind to oneself in the process. Too often, people are their own harshest critics, judging themselves for feeling broken, for not moving on quickly enough, or for struggling in ways they think they should have already conquered. However, true healing begins with self-compassion, the ability to treat oneself with the same care, understanding, and patience that would be offered to a loved one in pain. Self-compassion is essential because healing is rarely a straight path. There are ups and downs, moments of progress followed by setbacks, and days when pain feels just as fresh as it did before. It is in these moments that being kind to oneself matters most. Instead of frustration or self-judgment, practicing self-compassion means accepting that healing takes time and that struggles do not define a person's worth. One of the first steps in self-compassion is recognizing that suffering is a part of being human. Everyone experiences pain, failure, and moments of self-doubt. It is not a sign of weakness, but of being alive. When individuals understand that struggle is universal, it becomes easier to let go of the guilt or shame that often accompanies personal hardship. Instead of feeling isolated in pain, one can recognize that challenges are a natural part of life's journey. Another key aspect of self-compassion is changing the way one speaks to oneself. Many people engage in negative self-talk without realizing how damaging it is. Thoughts like, "I should be over this by now," "I'm not strong enough," or "I'll never heal," only reinforce pain and make healing harder. Practicing self-compassion means replacing these thoughts with gentler, more supportive ones. Instead of criticizing oneself for feeling pain, a person can acknowledge their emotions with kindness. "I am doing my best," "It's okay to take my time," or "I am allowed to feel this." Speaking to oneself with encouragement rather than judgment creates an internal environment that fosters healing rather than hindering it. Self-compassion also involves allowing oneself to feel emotions without suppressing or dismissing them. Many people are taught from a young age to stay strong by pushing emotions aside. But true strength comes from facing and processing those emotions rather than denying them. Crying, feeling frustrated, or even experiencing moments of hopelessness are all natural responses to pain. Instead of viewing these emotions as weaknesses, self-compassion means accepting them as valid parts of the healing process. Taking care of oneself physically, emotionally, and mentally is another crucial element of self-compassion. When people are hurting, they often neglect their well-being, either because they feel undeserving of care or because their pain consumes their energy. However, healing is supported by small acts of self-care, getting enough rest, eating nourishing food, engaging in activities that bring comfort, and allowing oneself moments of peace. Even the simplest acts, like going for a walk, listening to soothing music, or allowing oneself to rest without guilt, can contribute to healing. Forgiveness, both of oneself and of others, is also a vital part of self-compassion. Many people hold on to regret, blaming themselves for things that happened in the past or punishing themselves for mistakes they have made. However, no one heals by constantly carrying the weight of self-blame. Learning to forgive oneself, to acknowledge mistakes but not let them define one's future, is an act of self-love. Likewise, letting go of resentment toward others, not for their sake, but for one's own peace, allows space for healing to take root. Boundaries are another important aspect of self-compassion. People often exhaust themselves trying to please others or avoid conflict, even at the cost of their own well-being. Part of being kind to oneself means recognizing personal limits and not feeling guilty for enforcing them. Whether it is taking time away from toxic relationships, saying no to overwhelming responsibilities, or simply allowing oneself moments of solitude, setting boundaries is a way of prioritizing one's own healing. Healing is a deeply personal journey, and there is no single right way to go through it. What works for one person may not work for another, and that is okay. Self-compassion means giving oneself permission to heal at their own pace, in their own way, without comparing their progress to anyone else's. It means understanding that setbacks do not mean failure, but are simply part of the process. Embracing self-compassion does not mean avoiding growth or responsibility. It means creating an inner environment where growth can thrive. When people stop punishing themselves for their pain and instead approach their healing with patience, understanding, and kindness, they open the door to true recovery. It is only when individuals learn to be gentle with themselves that they can fully move forward, free from the weight of self-judgment and full of the strength to heal. Resilience and growth healing is not just about moving past pain. It is about growing through it. Every challenge, every struggle, and every hardship holds the potential to shape a person into someone stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Resilience is the ability to endure difficulties, to rise after falling, and to keep moving forward despite the weight of adversity. Growth is what happens when resilience is practiced. When lessons are learned, perspectives shift, and a deeper sense of strength emerges. Resilience does not mean ignoring pain or pretending everything is fine. It is not about suppressing emotions or forcing a smile when the heart is heavy. True resilience is about facing struggles with honesty, allowing oneself to feel and choosing to keep going even when the road is difficult. It is about understanding that pain is a part of life, but it does not have to define a person's future. One of the key aspects of resilience is perspective. When faced with hardship, it is easy to fall into a mindset of hopelessness, believing that things will never improve. However, growth begins when challenges are seen as opportunities rather than as endings. A painful experience can teach patience. An unexpected loss can highlight the value of love, and a difficult setback can inspire new paths forward. It does not mean that pain is necessary for growth, but rather that when it does come, it can be transformed into something meaningful. Resilience is built through experience. Each time a person overcomes an obstacle, they prove to themselves that they are capable of enduring and overcoming hardship. This creates a foundation of inner strength that can be drawn upon in future challenges. People who have faced and survived difficult moments in their lives often develop a greater sense of confidence. knowing that they have the ability to navigate adversity. Growth through resilience is also about adaptability. Life does not always go as planned, and healing does not always follow a straight path. Being resilient means learning how to adjust, how to find new ways forward when the original route is no longer an option. This ability to adapt is a critical part of healing, allowing people to rebuild their lives even when circumstances change unexpectedly. Another important factor in resilience is self-belief. When pain and setbacks occur, it is easy to doubt oneself, to feel as though strength is lost. But resilience is not about never feeling weak. It is about choosing to rise despite those feelings. People who cultivate resilience remind themselves that they are more capable than their doubts suggest. They understand that even on the hardest days, they still have the power to take one more step forward. Emotional resilience is just as important as physical resilience. Just as the body grows stronger through exercise, the mind becomes stronger through challenges. Every time a person chooses to face a difficult situation rather than run from it, they strengthen their ability to cope. This does not mean struggles become easy, but it does mean that each challenge equips a person with more tools for handling future hardships. Growth also comes from reflection. Resilient people take the time to look back at their struggles and identify what they have learned. They recognize how challenges have shaped them, what strengths they have developed, and how their experiences have given them new perspectives. They do not dwell on pain, but they also do not ignore its impact. Instead, they use it as a source of wisdom, allowing it to guide them toward a stronger future. Resilience is not something people are born with. It is something that is built over time. It is developed through effort, through choosing to keep going when giving up feels easier. It is strengthened by support from others, by moments of self-reflection, and by the willingness to embrace change rather than fear it. Healing is a process, and part of that process is discovering the depth of one's own resilience. It is in the moments of struggle that true strength is revealed, and it is through perseverance that growth takes place. Pain may be a part of life, but so is the ability to overcome it. With resilience, healing is not just about recovering from the past. It is about stepping into a future that is stronger, wiser, and full of new possibilities. Faith and hope healing is not just a process of moving beyond pain. It is also about believing in the possibility of renewal. Faith and hope are two of the most powerful forces that sustain people through their darkest moments, offering light when everything else feels uncertain. Faith does not have to be tied to religion. It can be the belief in something greater than one's suffering, the trust that healing is possible, even when it feels far away. Hope is the quiet but steady voice that whispers, "You will get through this." Together, faith and hope create the foundation for emotional and spiritual resilience, guiding people toward a brighter future. Pain and hardship often challenge a person's ability to believe in better days. When someone is overwhelmed by grief, loss, or emotional wounds, it is easy to feel as though the suffering will never end. In these moments, faith becomes an anchor, a reminder that even if healing is not immediate, it is still possible. Faith is what allows people to hold on when everything feels uncertain, trusting that with time, effort, and support, things will improve. Hope is the belief that circumstances can change, that growth can emerge from pain, and that the future holds opportunities for joy and fulfillment. Without hope, suffering can feel endless and healing can seem unreachable. But hope provides the motivation to keep going, to take one more step forward even when progress feels slow. Hope is what fuels resilience, giving people the strength to push through difficult moments because they believe something better lies ahead. Faith and hope also help shift perspective. When someone is trapped in pain, it is easy to focus only on what has been lost or what is broken. But faith reminds people that even in the midst of suffering, there is still beauty, purpose, and meaning to be found. Hope allows people to see beyond their immediate struggles and envision a future where they are whole again. These shifts in perspective do not erase pain, but they help lighten its weight, making the journey of healing more bearable. Believing in healing does not mean ignoring pain or pretending that struggles do not exist. Faith and hope do not deny reality. Rather, they give people the courage to face it. They encourage individuals to acknowledge their wounds while also believing that those wounds do not have to define the rest of their lives. Healing is not always immediate, nor is it always easy, but faith and hope remind people that it is always possible. For many, faith is deeply spiritual, offering a connection to something greater than themselves. Whether through prayer, meditation, or a sense of divine purpose, spiritual faith can provide comfort and strength during difficult times. It can serve as a source of guidance, reminding people that they are not alone in their struggles. For others, faith is found in humanity, the belief that kindness, love, and support will carry them through hardship. Some find faith in their own resilience, trusting that their inner strength will lead them to healing. No matter where faith is rooted, its power lies in its ability to sustain and uplift. Hope can be nurtured through small, everyday moments. It can be found in a conversation with a friend, in the laughter of a child, in the warmth of the sun on a difficult day. Hope does not always come in grand gestures. Sometimes it is in the quiet reminders that life continues, that joy still exists, and that healing is a journey worth taking. The presence of hope can be seen in the simple act of getting up each morning, choosing to keep going despite the challenges. One of the greatest obstacles to faith and hope is doubt. When healing feels slow, when setbacks occur, it is natural to question whether things will ever improve. This is where resilience plays a role. Faith does not mean never experiencing doubt. It means choosing to believe even in the presence of uncertainty. Hope does not mean never feeling discouraged. It means continuing forward even when the path is unclear. Healing is a process that requires both patience and belief. It is not just about physical or emotional recovery. It is also about restoring the ability to dream, to love, and to trust in the possibility of happiness again. Faith and hope do not erase pain, but they provide the strength needed to move through it. They remind people that no matter how deep the wound, there is always a way forward. And with each step taken in faith, with each moment embraced with hope, healing becomes not just a distant possibility, but a reality in motion